how to make it a new estimate for a client. So we want to go through to sales, customers. From the customer side, we want to go to the new client or any client name. So you search your clients over here. I've created the dummy client called new client. From there, on the top right, transaction quote. There is another way to enter it as well. If you use the quick link, the plus estimate, and there you can fill in your client details. Keep in mind, if the client is not available there, you'll have to first create the estimate. There's a few essential parts when it comes to the estimate. Keep in mind that everything gets populated for you, provided that it's filled in on the back end. In other words, the client details, that area. If it's not filled in there, please go back to it and fill it in there. The first part is your quote number. Very similar to the old system, we've got Q as the estimate. It used to be EST, now it's Q. We leave out the 20 of 2019 just to make it a bit shorter. So it's 190815, your initials as consultant, 001 if it's the first quote of the client, 002 if it's the second one, third one, fourth one, and that's obviously based on estimates. So if it's the first, after the first estimate, that will be 02. The dash 02 that's behind it, that is just to make every quote number unique, because QuickBooks won't take duplicate numbers. From there, you can ensure that the quote date is correct. The shipment details you can leave out for now. That will add in once we create the invoices. And please also keep in mind that we'll create the invoice from our side, from admin side. It's going to mix up the books if you do it from your side. Important then, adding in your consultant name. If it's been referred by somebody, please fill in their names there. And then how to lock the products. Going under product and service, you've got the drop down. These two first elements is to bring in your commission structures and the commission that's going to be due to you once this becomes an invoice. The credit note, don't worry about that, we will make that out. The discount, if there's a certain discount that we're providing to the client. Referral fees, if this quote has been, if this client has been referred by somebody else, we can use the referral fee. In brief, let me show you how the referral fee works. Once you click it, it will give you the description area here. Under that, you'll normally put the referred client's name, and you'll put also a reference, like for instance, invoice number, whatever that number is. The quantity of stock that was purchased on that deal, or if it's only one element, the rate that we're getting as a referral. In general, referral fees are 25 Rand or sometimes up to 50 Rand. So I'm just going to delete this one because we're not going to be using referral fee. So looking at the products, you can use the drop down and search your products there. Keep in mind the first products is a bundle. I'll explain that in a moment. The second part of this, you'll see it eventually starts with Z in front of the product. This is a stock item, and in other words inventory, and we will not be adding this directly in here. Instead, we will use the products on top. So I'm going to go ahead and type in intervene, for instance. It will pop up the intervene elements there, and let's say we're going for intervene premium. On the right hand side, the next element there's quantity, so I'm going to add in 6. Note that we'll update all the quantities right throughout. So in other words, the inventory item, it adds in automatically, so that we can deduct the stock from there. The commission on 6, there's the quantity, in other words that's expense and liability, and these are worked out automatically. Please don't change these unless if it's a referred client. In other words, if you've referred a client, then the commission gets broken up into 25 Rand for the consultant, and if that was somebody referred by, that will be 25 as well. Once that's filled in, you can continue and add in more elements over here, in other words more products, or you can just add in your shipping, which would be, let's say for instance 100 Rand, and you can save. If you want to send this estimate out to the client, okay, see if it's not a unique quote number, it will notify you. So I'm just going to say no and make it a 02, and that's the reason why we bring in the 02 at the end. So let's try that one as saving. Correct. There's two more elements that we can add in here. You'll notice message displayed on the quote. So the text that's written in here is generic text, and that is displayed on the quote. And this is for statement that we will add in later on. At the bottom there's attachments if you want to add in anything to this estimate. And interesting, if you go show existing, and this is showing existing attachments that was done. On the right hand side, add to quote, you can just go all, and from there you can notice a few elements that's been added. This is Intervene Herbal from Christo, and that's the Intervene Herbal brochure. There's nutrition food. Note some of these files is very large, like 20 meg, so we don't want to add them. For instance, I'm going to add in this one for a second. You'll notice this is 25 maximum size, and this is 1.5 meg. So you can add that in. So when you add it, just make sure that it's not the 20 meg file. I know there's one of them, yeah. I'm just going to close. Once we continue, once we're done with this, we can continue by save and send, or you can go save and close. Save and new, save and send. So once we save and send, it requires an email address. Let me just put that in for a second. Save and send. That will open up what the client will see and receive. In other words, the estimate they will receive. On the left hand side, this is the body content. This is generic content, so we'd like to suggest to add in your own contact details. So your VOBI number, for instance. So that will be your own consultant name, so that the client can contact you directly. You can add in your email address here as well. And we've also asked the clients to please use the new bank details. Once you're happy with the estimate, that's what it's going to look like. You can just say send and close. There's also a download button on that side. You don't have to send it to the client. You can cancel or close. In other words, cancel from this side on the left bottom, or close it from that side. Once you're finished with it, you can close the estimate. You will notice that will, in the quotes area, bring it in. Once you are ready to, once the client sends us a proof of payment, we will convert this to an invoice and create the credit note or whatever is required from here onwards. Thank you.